Hey guys, it's Vampire Mike from SegaCityUniverse.com. I wanted to check out all the Silent Hill titles, as I had mentioned in one of my last videos, and I decided to. I'm about 3/4 of the way done with 3, and I'm really enjoying it. I don't want to say too much about it because I want to talk about it after I beat it. I went back and I popped in Origins on the PSP. The graphics are really nice, the sound's really nice, the composer or the musician or whatnot, Akira, I'm not going to say his last name because I can't pronounce it, did some of the music for the Origins game, which was really good. The music, the graphics were nice on the PSP. I was impressed. I liked the camera angles and stuff. However, I didn't finish it. I got to the second to last level, if you want to call it that, and I stopped. I ended up saving at one point, and it seemed like the save points were kind of a little few and far between. And I got to this point, and I wasn't having fun. I ended up getting killed, and I would have had to start all the way back, like 20 minutes before, or 30 minutes beforehand, and picking up items and going to different rooms and all that stuff. It just wasn't that great. I can't explain it. I feel like with the second one I played and the third one, even the fourth one, even though I didn't like the fourth one much, I thought the story was gripping, I thought the characters were interesting. There was nothing in this prequel, Silent Hill Origins, or in Japan, Silent Hill 0, that was interesting. Again, the video is full of spoilers, so here we go. The main character is Travis Grady, I believe his last name is. He's a trucker. He almost hits someone in the road in front of Silent Hill. He gets out of his truck, then he sees like a fire in a house, and I think he grabs Alessa, who was from the first game, and without getting too deep into it, the other games too, with the name change, or at least part of her, half of her is with the name change. And he pulls her out of the fire, and that's how the story starts, and then he just like starts walking around Silent Hill. Like there's no reason for him to be there, at least in my opinion, but he just starts gallivanting around Silent Hill. He sees all this crazy stuff, and he just keeps going around picking up items and opening doors and solving puzzles, and then he sees Alessa not burned. He keeps asking her why she's there and what's going on, and she just doesn't answer him, so none of that really matters. Then I watched the endings on YouTube because I was just so frustrated I didn't feel like playing the game anymore. I heard Shattered Memories was a lot better in terms of story and content, even though they said you don't fight in that game. So once I get that, I'm definitely going to do a run through of that and then give my opinion on it. But anyway, it wasn't the core mechanics I was disappointed in, because like I said, I liked the graphics, I liked the music. It was the gameplay and the story. The gameplay just felt it was frustrating. Travis walked and ran. First, if he would run and he'd get winded after about 10 seconds, it would feel like he was like a chain smoker or some crap, and he was completely out of shape. Like in that regard, he didn't look out of shape, and you'd run, and then you just kind of sluggishly do a slow trot, and then these monsters were super speedy. So like you'd have almost like a conga line following you down the street of monsters. Then these other monsters would slowly walk towards you, but then in a split second jump at you and hit you almost every time. So that kept happening to me. So that was just frustrating. The story just seems very loosely tied together. Again, it was a prequel to the first game, which, without going too much into the first game, you're looking for your daughter, what was her name in it? Cheryl. And Cheryl ends up going into Silent Hill, and something to the effect of they're trying to birth a god by getting these parts together, these girls together, because this is where the story gets kind of weird and vague. They had some kind of god they're looking to birth, and to stop it from happening, the little girl Alessa splits herself into two, so she becomes Cheryl, and she becomes this like dark Alessa. And if they go back together, then they can birth this god, which is kind of the story of the third game. The first one is you looking for your daughter, and at the end of this one, Travis goes back to his truck, and he's all happy and smiling and crap, and then you hear over the radio that there was this baby Cheryl born, and then it was in front of Silent Hill, and the main character Harry Mason from the first game picks up the baby with his wife, and they adopt it and they leave. That was it. It's just the story. I didn't care for Travis. I felt like I was just very disconnected from him. I didn't care whether he lived. I didn't care what he did. And then the bad ending was there's this really bad Pyramid Head like ripoff in the game. It looks like Pyramid Head, but it has like a weirder mask. It's not triangular. It's just kind of like a circular mask. If you get the bad ending, you're Travis like flipping out on like a operating table, and you're realizing you're that guy, that fake Pyramid Head. I don't even know what his name is, and that your mother throughout the game, you find this out. Your mother was in a mental institution. Your father couldn't handle it and kills himself, and you guys had been in Silent Hill before when you were a kid. That was it. I wouldn't recommend it. I thought the room was very interesting. I didn't like the mechanics and the limited inventory system. I didn't like the backtracking. I thought it was an interesting story. It kept my attention. This did not. This was not made by Team Silent. I think Team Silent did 1, 2, 3, and 4. Or maybe it was 1, 2, and 3. I think it was 1, 2, 3, and 4. I wouldn't recommend Origins. I don't like it. I couldn't finish. I got frustrated, stopped and deleted my save. I hope you don't feel like, well, why is this guy even talking about it if he didn't beat it? I got 3/4 of the way through. I just couldn't take it anymore. So, if I gave the room a 5 or a 6, I would give Origins like a 3 or 4. Gameplay-wise, it wasn't great, and story-wise, it just did nothing. There was no reason to go into this. There was no reason to talk about the prequel to the first game. And if they did, they should have come up with something much better and more elaborate. So, that's about it. Silent Hill Origins. Yeah. It's Vampire Mike from SegaCityUniverse.com signing out. And I hope to beat Silent Hill 3 within the next day or so, I would say. It would be a good, nice Thanksgiving of murder. And then I'll do a little video about it. So, thanks for watching. And if you'd like to see anything else, drop me a line. Take care.